Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel General Knowledge Hindi, your best place for clear, simple and exam focused English learning. Today we are going to study A Cup of Tea by Catherine Mansfield, a fascinating story that explores class difference, fake kindness and human emotions. In this video, you will get the summary, important questions and answers, character sketches, and the main themes of the story. So stay tuned till the end because this is going to help you not only for exams but also to understand literature in a simple and a smart way. Let's get started. Uh, a Cup of Tea by Catherine Mansfield. Comprehension. Now state whether these sentences are true or false, right? Number one, Miss Smith was a very rich girl. The answer is false. Miss Smith was very poor, right? It's true. Number two, Rosemary was a very compassionate woman. The answer is true. Rosemary showed compassion towards Miss Smith, right? Question number three, Philip did not want Mrs. Smith to dine with them. The answer is false. Philip actually offered the idea. Question number four. Rosemary had been married for a couple of years. The answer is true. Now, answer these questions in one or two words, right? Question number one. Which Russian author influenced Catherine Mansfield? The answer is Anton Chekhov. Question number two, in which street was Rosemary shopping when she met Mrs. Smith? The answer is Curzon Street. Question number three, how many pounds did Rosemary give to Mrs. Smith? The answer is 3 pounds. Question number four, what is the cost of the enamel box that Rosemary wanted to buy? The answer is 28 guineas. Question number five, what is the name of the main character of A Cup of Tea? The answer is Rosemary. Now answer these questions in a few words each. Question number one, what are the names of the two women characters in the story A Cup of Tea? The answer is Rosemary and Mrs. Smith. Question number two, what kind of a relationship do Rosemary and Philip share in A Cup of Tea? The answer is husband and wife. Question number three, how does Philip react towards Mrs. Smith? The answer is he disapproves of her presence. While Rosemary and Mrs. Smith drink tea, Philip enters and sees Mrs. Smith. Surprised, he takes Rosemary aside. First, he disapproves of bringing a stranger home. Then he says Mrs. Smith is very pretty. His words make Rosemary feel jealous and unsure. Now question number four, who was Mrs. Smith? Why did Rosemary send her back? The answer is a poor girl. She was a poor girl. Rosemary sent her back after feeling insecure. Mrs. Smith is a poor woman. Rosemary meets on the street, right? Rosemary takes her home out of pity. But when Philip disapproves, Rosemary becomes unsure. She sends Mrs. Smith away with money. This shows class differences and fake kindness. Question number five, why did Philip disapprove of Rosemary's decision to keep Mrs. Smith with them? The answer is he felt it was not proper for their social status. Philip disapproves of Rosemary's decision to bring Mrs. Smith home. He worries it will hurt their social image. He fears embarrassment due to her poverty. He also sees Mrs. Smith's beauty and knows Rosemary may feel jealous and insecure. Now, answer these questions briefly in your own words. Question number one, write a brief character sketch of Rosemary Fell, right? The answer is Rosemary Fell was a rich and fashionable woman. She lived a luxurious life and loved collecting expensive items. Collecting expensive items, though she appeared kind, her actions showed she was proud and attention seeking, right? She wanted to appear generous but was actually shallow and easily influenced by her husband Philip. Now, question number two, describe Rosemary's encounter with Mrs. Smith, right? The answer is Rosemary met Mrs. Smith, a poor girl begging for tea, Touched by her situation, she took her home, gave her food and planned to help her. However, when Philip admired Mrs. Smith, Rosemary felt jealous and quickly sent the girl away. Now, question number 3. How does Catherine Mansfield explore the theme of class difference in A Cup of Tea? The answer is Mansfield shows the gap between rich and poor through Rosemary and Mrs. Smith. Rosemary's rich life is full of luxury while Mrs. Smith is poor and hungry. Rosemary tries to help, but her actions are more for show than true kindness. This highlights the shallow nature of the upper class. Now, question number 4. Why did Rosemary take Mrs. Smith home? The answer is Rosemary took Mrs. Smith home out of sudden sympathy. She wanted to help and feel good about herself, but her real reason was to show off her kindness and feel important. Her act was more for self-satisfaction than true care, right? Now, answer these questions in detail. Question number 1. Examine in detail the various themes explored by Catherine Mansfield in her story A Cup of Tea. The answer is Mansfield explores themes like class difference, selfishness, incompletion, materialism, and the role of women. The story shows how the rich, like Rosemary, feel proud helping the poor but do it more for attention. Rosemary is kind at first but gets jealous when her husband praises Mrs. Smith. This shows her help is not real. The story also shows how many separates people and how acts of kindness can be fake. Through Rosemary, Mansfield shows that real kindness needs honesty, not pride. The story also questions how women see themselves and want to be praised more than doing what is right. Question number 2. Comment on the significance of the title of the story A Cup of Tea. The answer is the title A Cup of Tea seems simple but has a deep meaning. It shows how something small like a cup of tea can reveal class difference. For example, for Rosemary, tea is a daily luxury, but for Mrs. Smith, it is something she cannot afford. The cup of tea becomes a symbol of Rosemary's fake kindness. It also shows how rich people may help the poor only to feel good but about themselves. So the title reminds us that even small actions can show the truth about people's nature and society's unfairness, right? Now, additional questions. Question number 1. What is Rosemary Feld's social status? The answer is upper class and very rich. Question number 2. How does Mrs. Smith react when Rosemary invites her for tea? The answer is she is surprised but agrees. Mrs. Smith is shocked and confused when Rosemary invites her home. She looks scared and asks if Rosemary is taking her to the police. This shows her fear and mistrust of rich people. She's not used to kindness, right? Though nervous, she agrees to go with Rosemary, likely because she is poor, hungry, and hopes for help. Question number 4. How does Rosemary feel after encountering Mrs. Smith? The answer is curious and emotional. At first, Rosemary feels sorry for Mrs. Smith and wants to help her to feel kind and important, but when her husband Philip says Mrs. Smith is pretty, Rosemary becomes jealous. She quickly gives Smith money and sends her away. In the end, Rosemary feels insecure and wonders about her own beauty. Her kindness was not real. Now, question number 5. Why does Rosemary want to help Mrs. Smith? The answer is to feel kind and important. In A Cup of Tea, Rosemary wants to help Mrs. Smith to show she is kind and generous. She also sees it as an exciting adventure, something new in her rich and boring life. Her kindness is mixed with a desire to feel special, but when Mrs. Smith asks for money, Rosemary's simple plan becomes complicated and shows her shallow motives. Now, question number 6. How does Philip feel about Rosemary's decision to take Mrs. Smith home? The answer is he disapproves strongly. In A Cup of Tea, Philip, Rosemary's husband, is not happy when she brings Mrs. Smith home. He thinks it will disturb their rich and proper life. He knows Rosemary wants to look kind, not truly help. Philip worries about their social image. Later, he cleverly says Mrs. Smith is pretty. This makes Rosemary jealous and insecure. She sends Mrs. Smith away. Philip's smart comment shows he cares about looks and class. Like Rosemary, he also values what others think more than real kindness. Question number 7. What is the significance of the enamel box in the story? The answer is it shows Rosemary's love for luxury. In a cup of tea, the enamel box stands for Rosemary's love of beauty, wealth, and status. She admires the box for its fine look and charm. It shows her shallow wish to own pretty, costly things. Rosemary connects such items with class and style. The box also shows her need to feel special and impress her husband. But when we see Mrs. Smith's poverty, the box reminds us of the big gap between rich and poor. It shows Rosemary's focus on looks over real meaning. Now, question number 8. How does Rosemary's encounter with Mrs. Smith challenge her self-perception? The answer is it makes her realize her shallow kindness. In a cup of tea, Rosemary thinks she is kind and generous. She invites Mrs. Smith home to feel good and show off. But when her husband says Mrs. Smith is pretty, Rosemary feels jealous and insecure. This shows her real feelings. She cares more about herself than helping others. She gives Mrs. Smith money and sends her away. Rosemary sees that her husband was fake and driven by pride. The story shows how her self-image is different from the truth and how shallow her compassion really is. Now, question number 9. What does the story suggest about the limitations of compassion? The answer is compassion can be selfish. In a cup of tea, Mansfield shows that real compassion must come from the heart. Rosemary helps a poor girl, but not out of true care. She wants to feel proud and show off. When her husband praises the girl's beauty, Rosemary becomes jealous and sends her away. Her kindness was only for her own image. This shows how rich people sometimes help others just to look good. The story teaches that true kindness needs real empathy, not pride or social show. Superficial help can hurt more than real, right? Now, question number 10. How does Catherine Mansfield portray the divide between social classes in the story? The answer is by showing contrast between rich and poor characters. In a cup of tea, Catherine Mansfield shows the big gap between rich and poor. Rosemary lives in a rich house with many luxuries, while Miss Smith is poor and hungry, right? Rosemary helps Mrs. Smith only to feel proud and kind, but when her husband praises Mrs. Smith's beauty, Rosemary becomes jealous and sends her away. The cup of tea shows the difference between their lives. Mansfield uses their meeting to show how rich people often care more about image than real kindness, and how society keeps class differences strong. Question number 11. What is the significance of the title A Cup of Tea in the story? The answer is it shows the contrast between comfort and poverty. In A Cup of Tea, the title seems simple but has deep meaning. A cup of tea stands for kindness and comfort. Rosemary offers tea to a poor girl, Mrs. Smith, to feel good and show off. This small act shows big things like the gap between rich and poor, fake kindness, and Rosemary's pride. She wants to impress her husband, not truly help. This title is ironic because a small gesture brings out jealousy, class issues, and selfishness hidden behind a kind offer, right? Question number 12. How does Mrs. Smith's appearance and demeanor differ from the upper class characters in the story? The answer is in A Cup of Tea, Mrs. Smith and Rosemary are very different. Mrs. Smith is poor, wears old clothes, and looks tired. She is shy, polite, and thankful. Her hard life shows in her quiet and humble way. Rosemary is rich, wears fancy clothes, and loves shopping. She cares about looks and enjoys showing off. She treats Mrs. Smith more like a project than a person. These differences show the big gap between rich and poor, and how rich often don't truly understand the pain of the poor, right? Question number 13. What is the role of Philip in the story, and how does he contribute to the conflicts that arise? The answer is, in a cup of tea, Philip Rosemary's husband plays an important role in creating conflict. He is practical and believes in following social rules. When Rosemary brings Mrs. Smith home, Philip disapproves and says it is not right. He also mentions Mrs. Smith's beauty, which makes Rosemary feel jealous and insecure. Because of this, Rosemary forgets her kindness and becomes worried about herself. Philip's words change her focus and show how her charity is not real. His role shows class difference and fake kindness in society. Question number 14. How does Rosemary's perception of Mrs. Smith change throughout the story? The answer is from pity to jealousy. In a cup of tea, Rosemary first sees Mrs. Smith as someone she can help to feel good about herself. She brings her home thinking it is a kind and exciting act. But when her husband Philip says Mrs. Smith is beautiful, Rosemary feels jealous and insecure. She quickly sends Mrs. Smith away with some money. This shows Rosemary's kindness was not real. She cared more about how she looked than about Mrs. Smith. In the end, Rosemary only worries about her own beauty, showing her shallow and selfish nature. Question number 16. How does the story explore the concept of privilege? The answer is, it shows how the rich act kind without understanding the poor. In a cup of tea, Mansfield shows the idea of privilege through Rosemary's actions. Rosemary is rich while Mrs. Smith is very poor. Rosemary wants to help Mrs. Smith, but mostly to feel proud and look kind. Her husband's disapproval changes her mind. This shows how rich people often care more about their image than real kindness. Rosemary's help is not deep or lasting. The story shows that class differences are strong and rich people's kindness can be shallow and controlled by society's rules. Question number 17. Does Rosemary's act of taking Mrs. Smith home truly benefit Mrs. Smith, or is it primarily driven by Rosemary's own desires? The answer is no. In a cup of tea, Rosemary takes Mrs. Smith home not out of true kindness but to feel important and good about herself. She wants to seem generous and kind, but her actions are more about showing off. Rosemary sees the poor girl's life as exciting and different. She does not truly understand Mrs. Smith's pain. When her husband praises Mrs. Smith's beauty, Rosemary becomes jealous. This shows her kindness was not real. Her actions were selfish and meant to boost her own image. Now, long answer type questions and answers. Question number 1. Examine in detail the various themes explored by Katherine Mansfield in her story A Cup of Tea. The answer is, Mansfield explores many themes such as class division, fake kindness, materialism, and identity. Rosemary wants to help Mrs. Smith, but her real reason is to feel proud and important. When her husband praises Mrs. Smith's beauty, Rosemary becomes jealous. This shows her help was not from true care. The story also questions how rich people treat the poor and use them for their own feelings. It also talks about how people, especially women like Rosemary, wants to feel admired. Through this short story, Mansfield shows the gap between rich and poor and how kindness should come from the heart, not for show. Question number 2. Comment on the significance of the title of the story A Cup of Tea. The answer is, the title A Cup of Tea has a deep meaning. It starts with Mrs. Smith asking for money for tea, a simple need, but for Rosemary, tea is a daily comfort. This shows the big difference between rich and poor. The tea also becomes a way for Rosemary to feel proud of her kindness, but when she feels jealous, she sends the poor girl away. So the tea shows not only comfort but also fake kindness. It reminds us that even small things can show the true face of people and society. Dear students, that was A Cup of Tea by Katherine Mansfield, explained in the easiest, very simple, right? In the easiest way, very simple. I hope this video helped you understand the story, its characters and the themes clearly. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, General Knowledge Hindi, for more exam focused English lessons. Also drop your questions in the comment sections below. I will be happy to answer and guide you. See you in the next video with another exciting chapter, right? Until then, keep learning, keep shining, and all the best for your exams. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.